Top 10 shocking cases on The Maury Show. It's always a good time with Maury, and today we count down 10 of the most shocking cases on the show. Grab a snack and watch until the end for a great surprise. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. Let's get it going. 10. Marquita and Shawn. Marquita took her boyfriend Shawn to the show because she suspected that he was cheating on her with her best friend, Shyla. Chris took a polygraph test and it revealed that he wasn't sleeping with Shyla, but he made a shocking confession to the lie detector administrator. He was messing around with Marquita's sister.
He was just cheating with Marquita's own sister, Daquana, who came to the show to support Marquita.
Daquana was on the show to support Marquita, and she was shocked to find out that her sister was the biggest betrayer. After the show, Marquita called it quits with Shawn, and months later, he declared that he wasn't the father to their 2-year-old, Jeremiah. They were back for a DNA test.
Because Shawn is now denying he's the father of their 2-year-old son, Jeremiah.
Shawn had an army of kids and he paraded them on social media almost every day. But he refused to take care of Jeremiah emotionally and financially. He denied the baby because Marquita revealed the pregnancy after 8 months and she'd embarrassed him on the show, so they weren't together throughout the pregnancy. The DNA confirms that he was the father of the child.
When it comes to 2-year-old Jeremiah, Shawn, you are the father.
The Maury Show becomes a home for some ladies because they always go there to prove that different men are the father to their children. 9. Melanie and Cortez. Melanie was on the show previously to prove that Darius was her child's father. Darius went to the show with his mother, who was positive that the baby couldn't be her son's. They had a DNA test done and Blake wasn't Darius's son.
Oh, Blake, Darius, you are not.
Melanie went back to the show to prove that a different man, Cortez, was her son's father. Like Darius, Cortez insisted that Melanie was sleeping with a bunch of other men at the time she got pregnant.
Darius claims Melanie was with a handful of other men when she got pregnant.
Jonathan described Melanie as a school bus, and everybody in the neighborhood got a turn. Ouch.
School bus, everybody get a turn.
Melanie had 3 pictures to prove that Blake and Cortez had the same physical features. She said the same thing about Darius, and she was wrong. Cortez had been accused of being the father to 3 different children before, and DNA results proved that he wasn't the father to any of the children. It wasn't the case with Blake because he was the father, and luckily, Cortez was willing to step up and take care of the baby.
Cortez, you are the father.
Curiosity may cause a couple a lot of strain as it did for a couple at the verge of breaking up on The Maury Show. 8. Sonia and Miguel. For a man who sells perfume, Sonia expected that her boyfriend would go home covered in perfume scents, but on the contrary, he went back smelling like sex. It devastated Sonia because she gave up everything to be with Miguel. She also found a shocking message on Miguel's phone from a woman who told him that his wife didn't have to know they were talking.
Your woman don't have to know where we talking. Oh my God.
Miguel was supposedly talking to a blonde woman, and Sonia was convinced that he was sleeping with her because he always asked her to dye her hair blonde. He also called another woman her pet name and asked another if she shaved down there. Miguel said that he did things out of curiosity, but he never cheated on Sonia, and he loved her with all his heart. Sonia told Maury that if the lie detector results proved that he was cheating, she'd end the relationship. Miguel passed the test with flying colors and declared that he only did the questionable things out of curiosity. Not many men would offer to take care of a baby if the baby doesn't belong to them, but 2 men proved otherwise. 7. Deshay. Deshay was previously on the show to prove that her best friend's boyfriend wasn't the father to her child, and the results came out negative. After the show, she needed to be true to herself and find the father of her son. Deshay was torn between 2 men, Bray and CJ. She dated Bray for about 5 years and slept with CJ twice. One of those men had to be the father of her son. Bray had been the father figure to her son while CJ did nothing for him. Deshay therefore was hoping that Bray was the biological father. CJ accused Deshay of denying him the chance to be the baby's father because she only told him about the possibility after 2 years. Bray hoped that he was the father because he'd already bonded with the child and he provided everything that he needed since Deshay was pregnant.
Yes, sir.
You think that's your son?
Man, I hope so. Man, I do everything for that child. I've been there since birth. Everything. I take him to church.
Deshay was devastated to find out that none of the 2 men were her baby's father. However, they both promised to help take care of the baby.
Hey, baby, if you need anything, call me. You got one?
Hey, anything that little boy needs, you know I got you. You know I got you. I ain't never gonna stop.
Some women believe that their weight makes them unattractive, and they see every skinny woman as a threat to their relationship. 6. Amber and Isaiah. Amber gained a lot of weight after she gave birth to her baby, and she didn't lose the baby fat. She started feeling ugly and fat, and every time she talked to her husband about how she felt, he laughed. Amber also had reason to believe that the husband was cheating on her with her cousin, who has a small body. One day, Amber went home and she heard giggles in the room. She opened the door slowly and the two quickly moved away from each other. She also said that her 6-year-old son told her that he heard noises from her room when her cousin was around. Montrese denied the accusations and made it clear that she never liked Isaiah in the first place. Her cousin begged her to try and get along with him for her sake. The lie detector results prove that Montrese was innocent and she never had any sexual contact with Isaiah. However, Isaiah was a cheater, and he slept with other women during the time he was in a relationship with Amber. Many people watch the Maury Show with the hope that they may be in the audience, not the stage. 5. Tyron and Becky. Becky got a call from Tyron's ex-girlfriend, and she told her that she slept with him over 100 times while he was in a relationship with her. Tyron denied the claims and said that his ex-girlfriend wanted to get him back and destroy their relationship. One of them was lying, and Maury would help Becky determine the liar. She was aware that her man went to Brittany's house often because they had a baby together when they were dating. Brittany first called her to inform her that Tyron was pressuring her, and months later she called Becky to let her know that they were sharing Tyron. She also told another female to call Becky and tell her that she was pregnant for Tyron. According to Tyron, she was determined to destroy his relationship and have him. Becky, on the other hand, had Tyron's things packed, and if he failed the test, Brittany was free to have him. Well, Tyron was cheating alright, but it wasn't with Brittany, who came up with all sorts of lies to sabotage the relationship. Women are out here lashing out at deadbeat fathers and fighting for their rights, but how innocent are they? 4. Marcus and Shakira. Shakira was on the show to represent all single mothers with deadbeat baby daddies. She was tired of men denying their babies and commissioned herself to start a movement which would fight for single mothers. When Shakira got pregnant, she called Marcus, and he asked her why she was calling him because he wasn't her baby's father. Shakira's mom was also on the show in support of her daughter because she raised her as a single parent. Before she got pregnant, Shakira and Marcus were together every day, but he still insisted that there was no way he could be the father to the baby. However, he promised to take care of the child if the results confirmed that he was the father. Debbie and Shakira embarrassed Marcus on the show, only for the results to reveal that he wasn't the father.
1-year-old Kalia, Marcus, you are not!
2 wrongs never make a right, and the next guests on the show were a living testimony. 3. Jamie and Tracy. Of all the days on the calendar, Jamie decided that the best day to tell his wife he was cheating on her was their anniversary. They had dinner, and then he broke the devastating news. Tracy left the room, and she cheated back. A few months later, she found out she was pregnant, and she was sure that Jamie was the father. Jamie was reluctant to accept the news because he was aware that his wife had revenge cheated on him. He took care of their other son, but Jamie refused to get involved with the second son. They lived in the same house, but separate bedrooms, and they ate together occasionally, but they never slept together. Jamie said that Wyatt looked nothing like him, but if the results proved that he was the father, he'd take care of them. It was down to Maury, and he'd either make the situation better or worse. Thankfully, her revenge cheating didn't cause more problems, because Jamie was Wyatt's father. The next couple also made the Maury Show their home since they made multiple appearances. 2. Renetta and Charles. Renetta and Charles appeared on the show 4 different times. Their first time, Renetta wanted to prove that her baby belonged to Charles, and she did. The second time, Charles doubted a child from a different mother, and DNA results confirms that he wasn't the father. The third time, Renetta and another woman said that Charles fathered their children. Renetta's child was his, but the other woman lied. The fourth time, Renetta took Charles to the show for a lie detector test, and he failed. Maury thought he'd never see them again because they both agreed to start their relationship on a clean slate, but they were back. Charles was accusing his wife of cheating with multiple people, including their neighbor, Latasha. He walked in on Latasha and Renetta watching the Maury Show and suspected them because Latasha is a lesbian. The accusations also caused problems for Latasha because her girlfriend believed that the two were hooking up. The lie detector results revealed that she wasn't sleeping with her best friend, but Renetta was hooking up with other men. She admitted that she didn't want to be with Charles, but she needed to prove that she wasn't a lesbian. The next case is a rare scenario of a wife who took her husband's mistress and supported her to prove that her husband was the side chick's baby daddy. I saved the best for last, but first I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete. So if you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just try it. It really works. 1. Devante and Jade. Devante and Jade dated for 2 months before they broke up, and Devante married someone else. One day, he argued with his wife, and they broke up for a day. On the same day, he visited an old friend, and Jade claims that it was the same day that her baby was conceived. Devante's wife was also on the show, but she wasn't supporting her husband. She was supporting Jade. Geneva told her husband that unless he went for a DNA test on the Maury Show, their marriage was over. Devante had a reputation of being a good father to his children, but he showed no support for Jade's son. He was invited for the baby's party, and he didn't show up. And Jade could barely count 5 things Devante did for their son. Geneva had a baby when she was 17, and the father of the baby denied the child. Geneva didn't want any woman to go through the same ordeal, regardless of whether the child belonged to her or her husband. She celebrated when the DNA test confirmed that Devante was the father of Jade's son. Thanks for watching, and have an excellent day.